Hey everyone, welcome to Snarf Talk with Chris.
And Jerry.
And this is our podcast where we give you a behind-the-scenes look as we create a comic book.
We're going to talk about TV, movies, comic books, and hopefully have a lot of guests, other writers, creators, and friends.
Check us out at snarfcomics.com. You can check out our blog and follow along with everything we got going on. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Snarf Comics. And please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes.
Enjoy the episode.
All right.
And we're back.
Back in the Snarf hizzy.
Back in the saddle again.
I just said Snarf hizzy. I don't like the hizzles and for shizzles.
I'm not all about the his house.
I'm not a for shizzle kind of guy.
Snoop Dogg is.
Is that who said that?
I think. It's one of those guys.
Snoop Dizzle and the...
It's like that time frame, like in that time frame of rap, you know?
Yeah.
It came...
It was a good time.
From that era.
It was a good time in rap. Rappaport music.
If there's one time that I can look back on fondly when it comes to rap music, it would be the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Because
early
I don't like any rap ever, and I never really have. But like early 90s rap music, I look back on fondly. If I hear it again, like if I hear it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that.
I like a good rap, but I don't like any of the new stuff.
No.
I don't like any of this mumble rap.
Is that even thing? Is that like really a thing?
Like I'm not a fan of Bad Barbie.
Who?
Bad Barbie.
I don't know who that is.
BHAD Barbie. You know who that is?
No, I've never
It's
heard
that
of this
girl
thing.
that was on Dr. Phil that said, "Cash me outside."
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
Oh,
There's literally some white trash girl that went on Dr. Phil, said that, became an internet meme.
Yep.
And then became a rapper, a mumble rapper, and then got popular enough that she was nominated for a freaking Grammy.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. That happened.
Oh my gosh. What's her name? I'm trying to think of her name. It's
Bad Barbie.
No, her real name.
I don't know her real name.
Bad Barbie is what she goes by.
It's so bad. So one time I couldn't believe that this was true. So I looked up.
Is it Bod?
Yeah. Bod.
That's what she goes by. Bod Barbie.
I couldn't believe it was true, so I looked up some of her music to listen to it.
Catch Me Outside.
And I have to say, it was awful.
I really did think you were going somewhere else with that.
So I did like,
I don't know why,
like the early, I like them 90s rap. I'm a huge fan of the Beastie Boys.
That's what I was going to bring up. Like if there's one rap group that I could get behind, it was the Beastie Boys. And I think that's like widely
it's because you're racist.
Known in this area. And sexist, because there's no females in there too, so put that in there.
No, I suppose you also really like Eminem.
Me and Greg Johnson used to.
And you're a big fan of Vanilla Ice.
No, not at all. But there was a song by what's the guy that used to bark all the time? DMX.
Yeah.
So DMX used to sing a song, and it said "Meet me outside," and he'd say "Meet me outside, meet me outside."
Yeah, I remember that song.
Well, Greg's dog was Mimi, so we'd always like harass her, and we'd dance around her and say "Mimi outside, and make her go outside.
You guys were
little
rebels.
I mean, that's what we did in Verona. We hung around at Thunder Creek.
Yeah.
And made Mimi go outside.
I would have to say that Eminem, man, that was like when I was in high school. That was the jam. But Dre as well. Forgot about like that whole The Chronic. Was that the album, The Chronic? Dr. Dre.
I had not
great
over
album.
my head. Do you remember Mace?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Mace was awesome.
Mace was pretty cool. I just heard me and Amy were singing the song when we were pulling in the driveway, and Mace came on the radio, and we both like looked at each other like, let's start it. Then we started singing together.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No, the children were in the van. No, we just started singing it because we like immediately knew all of the words. It's weird when you haven't heard a song in like 25 years, and then all of a sudden you can immediately start singing it again. It's weird.
Do you remember Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Of course.
Yeah. That was like
Meet
middle
me at
school.
the crossroads. Yeah.
Bone, bone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good time.
Tell me what you gonna do. I don't know what he says there, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that was like back in the day when like it was like fine to listen to the Will Smith rap.
Oh yeah.
But then all of a sudden, like, it wasn't.
Was it
cool.
ever not fine?
No, everybody likes Will Smith rap, but my point is like you got looked down on because it wasn't real rap.
I mean, I wouldn't consider him one of the greatest, but
it was pretty poppy.
Yeah, it was. For that time period, it was great.
Yeah.
So that's your lesson.
If you still turn on
rap.
Miami, like anytime you're on a boat,
yeah,
people go crazy.
What did they say? And Benito Ami.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Party in the club with the heat is on, all night on the beach to the break of dawn. Welcome to Miami. Benito Ami.
Just like that.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
good.
like that.
That's good. So what's new with you, Christopher?
Oh, just...
You know what I think you're going to do
rain.
soon?
What?
Plant.
Tomorrow.
Yeah?
I'm getting back at it.
Planting the kern?
I'm getting back in the saddle.
Nice. Good job.
Back to podcast land.
Right. You're going to catch up on a lot of them. I'm kind of jealous of you.
Because I've been spraying a lot, so I've been catching up on a ton of Joe Rogan. A ton.
So I downloaded and I started listening to one episode of David Tennant's podcast I had spoken about.
Didn't you have
many
to
moons ago.
pay for it?
No.
Oh, it's free. Okay.
Yeah. I downloaded all of them. There's 13 episodes. They're all right around an hour, like right at an hour. And he just interviews a bunch of people. You know, I got rid of the ones I didn't want to listen to. The only one that I've listened to was John Hamm. Okay. And he is an amazing human being.
Well, he's pretty charming.
He is. But when you listen to, like, he talks about his life growing up and
it's a struggle.
Everything.
I bet.
No, it wasn't
that
at
struggle
all.
For the ham.
No, it wasn't.
I can't imagine that guy's ever struggled very much in his life.
Well, he was raised in like a single home. His mom and dad broke up or divorced when he was like 2 or 5 or something, very young. And his mom raised him until he was 9, and then she died of cancer.
Gosh.
Yeah, right off the bat.
The ham did have a hard life.
He did. I mean, not really, but kind of. He never struggled, and he said he never wanted for anything, but he didn't know he didn't want, like he didn't need anything. He just had fun all the time. Just like our childhood where you just go outside, play, you know, like ride bikes, did whatever. He said everybody in the neighborhood that he grew up with, like if you didn't have something, they did, and you just borrowed it, you know, like he didn't want anything. He had everything he needed. But when his mom died, she found out she had, I think it was colon cancer. She found out she had colon cancer and died 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
And then
That's horrible.
Yeah. And then he moved in with his dad.
Bringing me down.
No, John Hamm is not in a bad way right now. So there's no need to be, you know, feel bad for him. Right. I mean, it is sad that his mom died, but I think he's made out pretty well.
Okay.
But
good
then
for him.
He moved in with his dad.
Young upstart.
Went into this like private school, and you know, and he talks about like auditioning for things, which is fun to listen to. I like listening to how auditions go for people that are like big stars and hearing them like how they were like super worried and didn't know if they were going to catch a break. Linda Cardellini is on the ID10T podcast with Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
She was talking about that and how she went for the Scooby-Doo movie.
Oh, yeah, she was in that, right?
She's Velma. She was Velma, yeah. She's like a perfect Velma, and that's what Chris Hardwick says. But she said she, for weeks and weeks before this audition, like literally lived like Velma and only listened to like Velma speaking and tried to change her voice. And
that's annoying.
She did everything she could possibly do because she wanted that so bad. And then when she went to the audition, she was like dressed like Velma, and she got there and she said there was a bunch of other stars like and actresses that were there, and she was the only one dressed up like it, and she immediately regretted the decision. She's like, I am an idiot, and everybody looked at me like I was an idiot. And she said she went home and like sobbed because she was going to lose the part, and she knew it, but she got it.
Oh, the rest is history. For old Linda Cardellini.
Yeah. I like hearing those stories. I think it's fun. Yeah, a little inside scoop.
You should watch Barry then. There's a lot of good stuff.
Well,
with that.
we'll talk about that when we get to what you're watching, maybe. Yes. So, what do you got?
I don't have anything. This is like an on-the-fly episode.
Yeah, I mean, all
Jerry
of them
was supposed
are.
to come up with a theme. We wanted to shake things up a little, and I think we should going forward. That's a good. We can have a discussion about that because now that Snarf Madness is over and now that Endgame is over, we should have like different themes every week. Like not anything that's like super set in stone, rock solid, but I think that people would be into that.
I think so too.
If you guys have any ideas, let us know. That would be awesome. Because like what Maggie gave us the idea for Snarf Madness, and then like,
and that blew up. It
was like 2 months.
We basically owe our fame to her.
Yeah.
You know, not really.
We got to get them their gift cards.
Yeah, we do.
I kind of forgot about that.
I did too.
We told them it'd be a long time.
Right, and I'm glad you said that. It's completely your job to do that.
So Jerry was supposed to think of a theme. He didn't think of a theme, so we're just off the cuff this week.
But I also am looking back right now because I know Erica had wrote in a theme a long time ago about what we should do, and I thought it was a good idea. And
what's that?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, we do have some. I have been watching some stuff, so we can talk about that. We do have there's a big episode of Game of Thrones on last night, the penultimate episode, so second to last episode. I know you guys have already. You're listening to this, and you've already seen the finale, but we want a spoiler-free period.
Seen the finale?
Yeah, because this is going to come out next week.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forget about that movie magic stuff. Right?
Spoiler-free period is over, and we'll just discuss that here in a little bit. I did want to bring up one thing. Well,
I also wanted to bring up one thing about a movie that came out. We had touched on it a little bit. You did about Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah, it's making a lot of money.
Yeah, it's at $53 million got $53 million for its opening weekend, but that's enormous apparently for gaming movies.
That's in the U.S. though.
Yeah.
What did it get in China?
I don't know. I don't know what I got there. I'm just saying opening weekend for U.S. was $53 million, and it set a record for gaming movies.
I think it made like $500 million its opening weekend when he took it in China.
Oh, really? I didn't look at that
Pokemon, part. I don't know if you know this or not, but Pokemon's a little bit of a thing in China.
It is?
Yeah.
So I just heard about it.
Yeah.
No, that was a joke.
I'll see it because Cash really wants to see it.
I've never been a Pokemon fan.
I don't know. I not only have I not been a fan, I missed all of those games. I remember when they were out, but I never played one. Yep. I didn't really know much about it, and then my son got really into it, but he doesn't actually like really play the game.
Okay.
He just has the cards. But I guess I was totally way off. So worldwide, it's made $166 million, which I would say is probably pretty good for that.
Yeah, but
production budget of $150 million.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Is what do you think the production budget would be for something like that when it's like 100% CGI?
So almost. That is not going to make its money back, probably.
I mean, it just did. You said production budget was $150 million. Oh, but
if you harken back to an earlier discussion, Jerry,
marketing,
they probably spent $100 million on marketing, and then half of that gross receipts is probably profits to the theater.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll get it eventually.
It'll make its money back, but not as much as the producers probably thought, or the studio probably thought.
Old Ryan Reynolds,
especially after that whole Pokemon Go fiasco that it was.
Let's Go Pikachu is the one that me and Cash, but I have to help him a lot, has been playing nonstop.
That's a game?
Yeah, for Switch.
Oh, Switch. You got a Switch, huh?
Well, yeah, we've had one for a while. It's awesome. It really is.
Do you ever play it on the TV? Because you can plug it into like a docking station.
Very rarely,
right?
But sometimes, yeah. Yeah, we were playing the other night when the kids went to bed. Me and Marley and her sister were playing Mario Party on it.
Oh, really? I love Mario Party.
The Switch is amazing. It's totally worth getting. Definitely.
Yeah, I need to. Amy and I talked about it for Christmas for the boys, but we never did end up getting it for some reason.
Yeah, it's
should get it
it's a very versatile entertainment tool.
So you play games and what else? Can it do other things?
I mean, yeah, for sure, but we don't do other things with
okay. But it has the capability of doing
like
everything?
Yeah, of streaming apps and stuff. But, I mean, if I'm going to do that, I have an app, or
exactly.
not an Apple, Amazon Fire TV. So
yeah, and an Xbox.
And an Xbox, which I never even turn on anymore.
Why?
Because we got the Switch. It's way better for kids.
I just like all of my TV is basically run through my Xbox.
Well,
like
all of my apps through my Amazon Fire box.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is there a remote for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Voice remote.
I would never use that.
No. Well.
Do you use the voice?
Not very often. No.
Yeah.
Because
I had Comcast and with that voice thing, and I never used that.
Well, I never used it before because it used to be when you used it, you could only search Amazon. So if you searched for something that was on Netflix, like you're
wouldn't
not.
come up.
But now it works with Netflix and HBO. So,
which is the only two things that I basically watch, and some Amazon. But then everything on Amazon you got to buy.
Well, not everything. Rent. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Well, I understand there isn't. Not everything, but everything I tend to search.
Justified.
It needs to be bought.
Yeah.
And that is annoying.
Yeah, no, I know.
What was your one thing you wanted to talk about?
Oh, I wanted to cover a little podcast housekeeping, if you will.
Okay. Housekeeping.
Yeah. We
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So the show's been growing, everybody. It's been growing.
It has.
Snarf Madness was big time. But we want to grow more.
Yeah, we do.
We want to take this world on fire.
We want to reach the world, which we are kind of.
Yeah, that's true. But we need more. We need listeners out there preaching the gospel of Snarf.
I would agree.
So if you guys are listening, for free, mind you,
right, 100%.
Just spread the word. That's all you got to do. Yeah. Be like, hey, bro, this is this new podcast.
Hey, we got a podcast, bro.
That's all I was gonna say. I've been saying that. I've been wanting to say that for like several episodes, and I keep forgetting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just like talk us up.
Yeah, talk us up. Spread the word. Spread the gospel of Snarf.
We're gonna have a little self promotion right now.
We could call this episode "Gospel of Snarf."
Ooh, I like that. That's funny. We already had a year. Well, this is the year of Snarf.
Yes.
We started this year off as the year of Snarf. The very first episode of 2019.
Which episode is this one, by the way?
This is episode 25.
Oh, this is a milestone episode.
This is a milestone episode, number 25.
This is a milestone episode. You've made the journey with us.
Actually, I talked to Chris about this a couple episodes ago. It was like 5 episodes ago, actually, because I said it was number 20. And I was like, when is the last time you've done something 20 weeks in a row?
Right.
You know, well, which we've now done 25 weeks in a row. If we're actually counting, it's 26 because we had a 10.1 and a 10.2. But if we're going by our labeling system, it is 25. So what have we done 26 weeks in a row besides just living?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I have other than work.
Right.
You know, but I don't consider that a thing. That's something I have to do.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know. I think that's a pretty big deal to commit to something for that many weeks in a row. Which, let me tell you, is sometimes it can be work.
Yeah, it not sometimes. I mean, it is work. It's actually. I told you about that last week when I was leaving the house. Marley said I was leaving for the podcast. She's like, "Have fun." And I'm like, "This ain't fun. This is a job, man. This is work. Take this for real." She's like, "Well, yeah, but it's fun." I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's a fun job.
It is,
but it is like a job, and there's work and like writing the stuff, and there's a lot more we could do, obviously, if we had more time. But
and the
putting
production.
stuff on making a website, putting the stuff on YouTube every week,
right?
Transcoding video, using Adobe After Effects.
Yeah, that's all you. You're the Adobe guy.
But it is work, but it's fun, and we don't necessarily care if we have any huge. We do this for ourselves and for fun, but
right.
It's always nice to feel validated that what you're doing is something that people are enjoying.
I agree. And I wouldn't call it like I need the validation.
No.
By any means, but it's nice to have. You know, it's nice to have the feedback of people saying like, I thought this part was funny, or I thought what you guys did here was awesome.
Yeah.
Or I can relate to this.
It is,
I like that.
It is cool. We do get a lot of that. I get that a lot. There's a lot of chatter and buzz that I hear talking to people, it's cool.
I think it's amazing.
Snarf Talk 25, a retrospective.
It is kind of a retrospective, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, how, like, just the surrounding community of people that have been listening or people that have brought it up.
And even if they don't listen, they're aware.
Yeah. I think it's neat that it honestly makes me feel like I know people better, because
really
now
does.
I feel like I know that they like these things. When before, I would have never went up to some of the listeners and been like, hey, did you see this movie, or did you read this comic book, or do you even know about any of this stuff?
Yeah.
But now I know they do like that, so it would bring up further conversation like anytime I would see these people. And I think that's neat.
I do really I enjoy, and I don't know why, I guess. And maybe it's because, well, I don't know why exactly, but I feel like a lot of people I run into now, whether they listen or not, and most of them I'm sure don't, but they're aware of what's going on. They're like, huh, you guys are doing a podcast. They're like, that's cool. Like it just blows their mind that that's something that people would be doing. And I don't know, for some reason that makes me feel good. And I'm like, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
Like anybody can. Just
you really can.
Stuff.
You just have to put the time in to do it. Even though this is a small thing that we do for ourselves, it is, like we said, it is something you have to want to do, and you have to continue to do it in order to make anything out of it. I mean, we're going to have to do this for years to make this something bigger. You know what I mean? Unless all of a sudden overnight it turned into some big show, which
it won't.
Is very, very rare that would ever happen, but it's possible. But if you want it to grow, you have to continue to do it.
Yeah, you got to make and push out content. And like I said, I just like the idea that it puts somebody in the frame of mind like, oh, there's more to life than just going to your job, coming home, talking about your job, and then on the weekends getting together to drink beer and talk about your kids or your job.
Yeah.
And I like that realization people have. They're like, oh, that's something different. That's something cool. Like, what can I do that's something cool, you know?
Right.
I feel like I don't know if we've inspired anybody. I'm not trying to get
I hope
ahead of myself, but I feel like that vibe. Sometimes I get that vibe from people.
Yeah. I've never felt like I've had anything to inspire someone, but I think this is a platform that you could do it, you know, just to bring somebody into the world of like, oh, they go through the same thing, or they're doing the same thing that I am, and I didn't know that prior, especially like in the comic book realm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like not widely discussed, and we've said it a million times that it's not necessarily like a lesser medium in my mind, but it is to other people. But it's becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger thing in the world, obviously. And in our small farming community, I think it's starting to expand.
Yeah, and I think there's also too like, oh, it's okay to like these things. I think I get that feeling from people. They're like, oh, it's okay to not just like them, because everybody likes this stuff. Right. Obviously, it makes billions of dollars. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to debate things about it. It's okay to nerd out over it.
It's okay to be an adult and watch these things or do this stuff. That, I think, is the big divide. I feel like the divide is like after a certain age, you're not supposed to read books with pictures.
Right. Well, or even the movies. Like, it's always fine to watch them and enjoy them. But then where's the line draw? Can you sit around with a group of guys in a garage on a Saturday night discussing Marvel movies? Like, that's what I feel like has been changing since we've started that.
Yes.
And maybe that's just because I'm talking about it more, but I feel like other people are talking about it more.
Yeah. I think it opens the door to bring them in to talk more.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So in a normal conversation, most people would think you want to talk about trees and farming.
Right. Which is two things I don't want to talk about at all.
I know. And I remember a story one time. I think we were at Abe's. This was years ago. We were at a bar together, and I remember you saying, like, everybody talks about farming. Like, I don't want to talk about farming right now. Like, that's not what I want to do. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah. You know, it's just, you ever notice, like, and this is, like, new, too, after starting the podcast, but, like, a lot of people will come up to me and we'll talk about this stuff and want my opinion or something. And even if they don't listen, they just know that this is a podcast we do, so they can talk to me about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I was going to say.
Oh, well, that's very inspiring. Thank you for that. Now you're getting a little bit of my disease.
That's what I was going to say. No, it's just like you see people light up when they talk about things like this.
For sure.
You see like them be like just light up and be enjoyable and happy about it. And
do you think that's like a little bit of like when we were talking about
inner child a little bit,
that and like escapism in a small way where you don't have to worry about the big picture of life. You just have to talk about this one moment that was fun, or that you enjoyed watching, and everybody can have that moment, and it can be different for everyone. Like everyone can feel something different about or perceive a movie different than someone next to them.
Right.
But it's the same thing. We're all going there for the same reason.
Right. Definitely. And it's okay to be like, just because this isn't the most important thing going on in your life or the world or whatever, like it's okay to just like chill out and enjoy something
and not talk about politics or taxes.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
That really is the worst. Because you talk about that crap all the time.
Try not to. No, I don't actually. But
no, you don't at all.
So anyway, that was a long way of saying
thanks.
Well, too, there was another point I was going to bring up. I feel like this last 25 weeks or more than that actually, like I just see the growth of what we've been doing. Just not even from like a quality standpoint, like from our audio, like I can't even tell you guys like how much we have learned over the last like 6 months or however long, not even that we've been doing this. And not saying everything we do is perfect, but like you just really, there's things that you think, and I never thought, I can't do that. But there's things that you think that you can just do, not really do or whatever. I'm not saying this all correctly, but it just, the more you do it, it really is true that you just start to gradually get better and better and better at it. And I think that like our audio is improved. I think our rapport has definitely improved. I think the content that we're putting out has improved. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's really cool. And I want to keep doing it.
And it was a challenge. It was a big time challenge at first because we jumped into it thinking that
really naively.
Exactly. And you just jump into it thinking like, you just record your voice and put it out there. It's not that big of a deal. And then we started realizing, because we do this thing where we like over research everything.
Yeah.
And it was good that we did that because there were so many things that we could have done better.
But that's a big, like, this is going back for my whole life. So, whether it be something like this or starting businesses or doing different things that I've done, it always comes back to, and I'm a chronic over researcher.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
But perfection really is the enemy of productivity. I mean, I can't say this enough. Like, you don't have to know anything to start doing something.
And we didn't.
Just do it. And we did for years, though. For years, we sat on the sidelines.
You're right.
We were going to do this and we were going to do that. And it's not that it was too hard. It was just like, you just have to take the leap and start doing something.
Right.
Anything.
And it was like 6 years ago that we started talking about this stuff.
Yeah. And
isn't that wild?
But it's just like amazing that, you just have to start.
Yeah.
You just have to try and be terrible and fail over and over again, which I'm sure we do every episode in some way or another. And then over time, you kind of get numb to it, and you're just like, this is what we do now. And I've come to really like, honestly, like I'm not going to say this is the highlight of my week. I mean, I am, because it is, but if I say that, it's very insensitive to all the other things. No, it's like, it's not like therapy, but it is
a form.
Kind of.
I think it is a form of therapy. I mean, if you went to a therapist, this is what you do, right?
And it's not like we're talking about our problems or talking about things like that, but it's just it's just good to have.
It's like a release. Like a mental release. And, once we started something like this, like you said, you just jump into it and try. And once we actually did that and we're like, okay, we are going to do this day and continue to do it every week. And now we have like 100 hours of content. And yes, I understand that our episodes are too long. Don't tell me that again, because I know they're long, but it's what we're going to do because we like having a 2-hour show because we can't stop talking.
Now, if we can just apply all of that to our comic book pursuits.
Right.
Which is super important to both of us, but we'll get there. And we did jump in and we started and we did with our first script. And that was the way that worked too. It was just like, let's just jump in and start doing it. And it just, for some reason, worked. I'd like to think back. I think maybe I only think back at the good moments, but I feel like that went so much more seamlessly than this time.
Yeah.
But it didn't. We grinded on that for like a year.
Yep, we did.
And we did learn a lot, and then we went forward, and we've learned a lot just about the industry in general and everything about it. But we do need to buckle down and finish that.
I agree. I'm not as concerned with saying that we need to finish it because I know that we can. I know it's something that once we get into that.
That's dangerous, though. When you know you can.
I know we can.
Is when you don't. You know what I mean?
No, I know. What I'm saying is like I know it's possible for whenever the time comes that we both have the opportunity to say like, okay, here's the couple weeks we're going to take and we're going to finish this. I think it will come easier to do that. The worst part about it is that the seasons that we have the opportunity to write is when we need to take advantage of it.
Right.
Like this season obviously is not the case because you're going to be planting all the time. And then it doesn't open up again until like July, August.
August. Yeah. I mean, to be perfectly clear or honest, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, summer is just, it's a busy time.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
For children, especially. I mean, it's a busy time. It's children's season.
It is. And it's baseball season for me, which is going to go through June. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't have any
That's
availability.
Fine. You got to have a life too, even though.
Oh, we have lives. That's for sure. Can we jump into like what you're watching thing real quick?
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I see, and I'm going to jump into the deep end of it real fast.
Get in there.
Because I saw this thing. I forgot to talk about it on the last podcast because I watched it like 2 weeks ago. And I don't know how I forgot about this because it was like unnervingly disturbing to me to watch this.
Okay.
And
ooh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Color me intrigued.
So I stumbled upon it on HBO, and it's a little documentary, which is not little actually. There's 2 parts, and I've only seen the first one, called what's it called? Leaving Neverland.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to watch that.
Whew.
Crazy, huh?
It's different.
I've heard some crazy stuff about it.
I didn't realize this. So they had a big trial with Michael Jackson.
I've heard that if you watch that, you'll never want to listen to his music again.
Correct.
It's so bad. That's why I don't want to watch it because I love his music.
I mean, his music is there. He created it. It's good. We all like it, and he is known as like this musical genius guy who did his thing, right? He had something majorly broken in his brain, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So watching this, all right, he was like a child, apparently. Like all of the parents that were involved with this thing, with these boys that were with him, they looked at him as like a kid. He was 30, 32, 33, something like that, when all of this was going on. But they all said like they thought of him as like a son because he acted like a child around them. And he would like to play like little toys and just be really strange. It was really strange listening to what they talked about with him. And then all of a sudden it would like flip a switch and he'd be out in public and he was like this major iconic music star, and did all that stuff. But the difference there is like he was so far removed from reality.
Oh yeah, for sure. His whole life.
His whole life. He had no basis of what real life was. His real life was being like above everyone else and removed from reality. So he went out in public and did his thing. He was good on stage and he was good in the public eye because that was his character. And then he'd get back home and he would be like this little itty bitty boy. And then he also like completely manipulated little kids and their parents. So what was really disturbing is that once he got close to these 2 boys that the documentary follows, he would tell them like how bad women were and how they needed to stay away from their moms and any other women, and they needed to leave their families and get away from them.
Let's just preface this all with allegedly.
This is all coming from the two boys,
which have changed their story over the years, and apparently, and blah, blah,
yeah. I don't know the whole backstory. I'm just talking about the documentary. So I don't know what is absolute fact, but from what they've said, and then their moms, both of their moms were interviewed too, and they were literally fine with everything that was happening because they thought it was okay. He like made them feel so comfortable and took care of everything for them that they were okay with their sons being friends with him. And that's what they thought. They were just really good friends. But it gets into some really deep graphical stuff that is gross.
Oh, man.
It is really, really gross.
That's terrible.
It is. It is terrible. And so there's 2 parts of this, and they're both 2 hours long. So there's 4 hours of content about this. And like I said, it follows the 2 guys, and I don't even remember their name. Wade Robeson, and there was another guy, Jimmy something. But one of them, the Wade kid, he's a man now. I mean, he's in his mid-30s, I think, maybe even older than that. He seems like a normal dude that is just bothered by it. But the other guy, Jimmy, he's different.
Yeah.
He seems very different when he speaks, and he's got some troubles.
So have you heard there's a theory, and I don't know how much credence to have in it or not, but that when he was a child, his parents or his father had him chemically castrated.
Okay.
To
I think I've
maintain
heard about
his
this.
voice, basically. And that could have caused a lot of issues, obviously.
Yeah.
Because he didn't develop properly because he was chemically castrated.
Right. Which, I mean, from what they talk about and how they describe him.
I heard a podcast, it was on one of the Joe Rogan's podcasts where he spelled out like the evidence of that, but I can't remember it specifically other than it did make sense listening to that at the time. Was
it a certain guest that was talking about it, or?
I can't remember. No, I think it was just Joe Rogan talking about it. Like he had talked to the doctor or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or somebody that had some inside information, but the way they spelled it out, it all kind of made sense. So, and then apparently, like, because he had kids, but they weren't his kids.
Oh, they weren't. Well, what made me think of it is that his son graduated. His son Prince graduated college, and then his brother Blanket was with, like, celebrating him graduating college.
Yeah, apparently
that's what made me think of
anything
this.
like him.
They're
white. They're white.
Yeah, they don't really look like him at all.
So I don't think they're his kids.
Yeah, I don't know, but they say they are. So
yeah.
I don't.
Well, he wasn't white.
But if you're interested in this documentary, go ahead and watch it. But just be forewarned, there is graphic content.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it but I mean, I think I could separate the music from the person. But it is. I did hear another. I can't remember if it was a podcast or something. There was another documentary about him that wasn't about his child abuse. It was about his music, and like I didn't realize at the time ever. I just thought he was kind of a pop star.
About how like really good of a singer he was.
It's not just good of a singer. All of those songs he wrote, first off,
right?
Not just the lyrics, every single musical part. But he couldn't play any instruments.
Right.
So he vocalized all the instruments. He composed the song and the music in his mind.
Yeah.
And only way he could get it to the musicians was by vocalizing it. So he would sing each instrument part.
That's incredible. He was really incredible when it came to music. I watched a video of him singing a certain part. It was like for We Are the World. And he was recording certain parts that he had to sing, and it was just showing how they recorded it.
Yeah, they were like in sound booth.
He was like standing in a big room, actually, just with a microphone in front of him. But they just kept saying like, "Okay, sing, this verse," and he'd get up there and the music would start playing and he'd sing it, and then he'd pause and he'd sing it again, and then he'd sing it again. And every single time it was absolutely the same, like on the note, perfect every single time. And it was just this montage of him singing over and over and over again, and it never changed. And there was like narration, and the guy said it didn't matter what time of day it was, it didn't matter how long he stood there, it didn't matter what it was, he was going to do it the same way, like as perfect as you could do every single time. There was like no multiple takes because he'd just nail it.
Yeah.
And it was crazy to see. And I didn't realize he was that good of a singer either until I saw that.
I didn't realize he wrote all of his own songs. I mean, I'm sure he didn't write all of them, but
yeah,
the vast majority. So, and you never know how true that is too. You know what I mean? A lot of musicians say that they write their own songs.
Right.
But a lot of times I don't necessarily believe that that's true, especially musicians that front a band, because they say, well, I wrote that song. And it's like, okay, did you write the guitar lick? No, the guitar player did. Did you write the bass line? No, the bass player wrote
right.
that. Did you write that? But the credit goes to,
one of the parts that like kind of bothered me the most about the documentary was, so the parents were talking, or just the moms, because the dads are like not in the picture anymore. They all got divorced. It affected their families like big time. Yeah. And it wasn't the fact, because they were very unaware of what was going on with their kids. So to them in the documentary. Yeah. But it was affecting their families like big time, because the moms got like super brainwashed as well. Like they were just brainwashed into believing like this is where I need to be because of my kid. And it was like chasing a career in entertainment.
Fame, glory.
That's
guy
what it was.
The top of the world.
Exactly. And they were removed from reality as well. And then when they had to go back home, like if he would leave on tour, or for some reason they had to leave, because he started taking these kids on tour with him too. And then one of them, he asked the mom out of nowhere, he comes up to her, and they were from Australia. This Wade Robeson, he was from Australia, and his parents were obviously, and they were there for like 6 weeks, and then they were leaving. And he asked her out of the blue, he's like, can Wade stay with me for a year? Just stay with me. You can go home and he stays with me for a year. And she's like, no. Mind you, this kid was 7 years old at the time. And she said, no, like he's my son. He's only 7 years old. Like he needs to be with his mom. Like I'm going to take him home. And he's like, well, just stay for a few more days so I can get him prepared to go home. And she's like, well, okay. So they did stay those few days. She's like, but then we're leaving after that. We have to go home. And he told her, and again, this is from her, but he told her, he's like, but remember, I always get what I want.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being directly after that, they moved from Australia, and it was her idea. She's like, we're moving and we're going to LA, and we're going to live in LA from now on. And that's what like really broke up their family, because the rest of the family was like, no, stay here. And just one day she packed up and took her son to LA, and they lived there. And then he basically never contacted them again.
Jeez.
They moved to LA, and the kid said he saw him like 5 or 6 times after that, once they moved to LA, but then they just never spoke again.
It's weird.
Yeah. So that's a doozy.
Yeah. Since we're on the subject, anything else you've been watching?
So I have started Barry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I started the show Barry, and it's amazing.
You're in season 1?
Yeah, I've seen 5 episodes of season 1.
There's not that many episodes though, right?
I don't remember. I think there's 8.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think there's 8. I never really looked to see how many episodes there were, but I've watched 5, and that was just in the last couple days that I've watched them, because they're really quick.
Yeah, I think they're only a half an hour, right?
Yeah, 30 minutes. I mean, I think they're only actually like 25.
Is it, or are they an hour?
No,
I don't know.
No, they're not an hour.
Okay.
They're definitely not an hour. And it's an awesome show. Bill Hader's amazing.
He's good, isn't he?
He's really good at playing like...
I would have never pegged him for being able to play that
Had
role.
no idea. The whole reason I liked Bill Hader on Saturday Night Live, but the whole reason I didn't watch that show was because I didn't know how I could take him as being somewhat serious.
He manages to handle both aspects really well.
Very well.
In a way that almost doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't think a lot of people could play that.
Yeah, he's very good. My favorite part of it, though, is the Chechen guy.
Oh,
the Chechen mob,
He's from Gotham. He plays
Victor Zsasz.
Victor Zsasz, yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good in that, too.
But
he's great.
His role is phenomenal.
Well, they stepped it up in season 2. He's way more in season 2. And
I feel like he's in every episode.
He's even better in season 2.
Wow.
Season 2 overall, I don't think is as good so far.
Okay.
Although the last episode was really good. There's one in there that is just a flyer, man. It's really weird. And even Bill Hader afterwards, because they have like the little where they, the making of thing.
Yep.
He even says, he's like, I wrote and directed this episode and it's freaking crazy. And everybody told me it was dumb and to do this episode. It's really,
that gets me excited.
It's an odd episode. And I wouldn't necessarily say it was good, but it's crazy and weird. But, and then the last episode was really interesting, which is, actually there was one on, it's after the Game of Thrones. So there was one on last night, but I didn't watch that one yet. Okay. So it's almost done.
It's one of those shows where I want to literally binge the whole thing. I just want to keep watching it. Yeah, that's the best way for it. And I haven't had the opportunity to, because every time I go to watch it, it's always been late at night, and I'll get like a couple in. I can't.
I'm really excited for you to get to the end of season 1 because there's some shocking stuff.
Oh, good.
That's good.
The lady in there, I think what's her name, Sarah?
The other girl in the acting part.
The blonde. She's starting to get a little weird.
Yeah, well, strap in for that.
Okay, good. No, it's a good show. I would definitely suggest it to anybody because it blew me away at Bill Hader's acting, and then it is really funny too.
Yeah,
certain parts are really funny.
I just love Henry Winkler. He's so good in everything. Yeah, he was in that show Royal Pains, and he was really good in that show.
The detective that's in the show where he starts hitting on that detective, I think is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited because you got some crazy stuff coming up in that show.
Good.
It's really good. I have been watching, and we'll do let's do Game of Thrones next, but
okay.
I have been watching more of Doom Patrol.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, does this show just keep getting crazier and weirder?
In a good way or in a way that you're just like, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
I don't know if it's a good way or not. There are certain aspects of this show that are infuriatingly annoying. Okay.
Oh.
In the fact that it's like constant flashbacks and like character introduction and exposition that I don't care about, and every time I'm like 6 or 7 episodes in. I think I'm on episode 5. And they're like advanced the story quite a bit in episode 4. And then episode 5 turns out it's a flashback episode for every single character.
Ugh.
And that annoyed me, but it was still good. Like, it's one of those things, like a lot of things annoy me about it, but it's still super good, and it's weird and like not good and good at the same time, and totally worth watching.
Okay.
So
that I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence by your description.
You have to watch it because I just want to know. I want to talk about it, and I want to know what your reaction is. It's so weird. The last episode, and this isn't a spoiler, but the last episode, they did finally introduce Danny the Street, which I was telling you about.
Yeah, is like an actual street.
Which is a character from the books, which I didn't really remember, which I don't know how I didn't, but I didn't really remember. Maybe I didn't read all of it, but it is a sentient street, but which can teleport and is gender queer.
It's a street, so
yeah. So, but it is like so the idea behind this character is it is exactly what it says. It's a street that can teleport around, and it just will show up in a place, and it is like trans or like non-gender specific, but like it attracts like trans people and like gender non-specific people, outsiders, people that don't fit into society, and they come and they live in this street, and they have like a life there.
They're in the street?
They live in the street. The street has buildings. It's a street. It's like a downtown.
Oh, okay.
And they live there, and they have, and Danny the street feeds off their energy, and
what does he do?
Well, Danny the street talks
okay.
through street signs and stuff.
Okay.
And
I like how you keep calling him Danny the street.
And is like, has a personality. It's very interesting. So in this last episode, so Danny contacts the chief, who whatever, and he needs help because the Bureau of Normalcy, which is like kind of the not overarching villain, but like a villain in the show, is trying to get him. And it's like a government organization.
Yeah.
And so Danny the street reaches out for help from the Doom Patrol, and
so he's not part of the Doom Patrol. He's just like a side character.
Yeah, it's kind of a so they have their the chief, which is basically like Professor Xavier, who like everybody seems to know, like all these oddball characters that like the whole idea is like they're all misfits and oddballs,
right?
And so he like has made it his point of helping these people that are oddballs, and so it's interesting too. I guess I don't really want to tell you too much more until you watch it, but
yeah, I'm going to watch it. I mean, I gotta get I have to get the DC app before May 31st.
They do probably have one of the best or only or better takes on a gay superhero character, because one of the members of the team is gay, and I feel like they do his story very well because he's like wrestling, like he's from like the 1950s. He was a test pilot in the 1950s. So like
what's his character?
I think his name is Negative Man.
Oh, okay, the guy with the raps.
Yeah, but none of them have their names yet. They're still like not there.
Heroes.
Yeah, there yet. I don't know how to explain this show, Jerry.
It's
crazy and
strange because I never read any Doom Patrol. I've never really. I knew Grant Morrison wrote it. I knew it was wild and like straight out of the brain of Grant Morrison. So it can't be. Yeah,
this is
normal.
Grant Morrison to a T.
But I didn't know anything about it, and I had listened to what's the one podcast that we listened to? Geek History Lesson. I've listened to a Geek History Lesson about it, so it gave me some rundown of, how it all works, but I don't have the basis of it really.
Yeah, and I don't know how close they follow the comics. Like I said, I barely remember them, but I think they picked and choosed a little bit here and there, and they're playing with storylines. It's interesting. I think it's worth.
So watching. They aren't like following a straight storyline of the comics?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think so.
Because I'm assuming the Grant Morrison run has like a origin of these people, right?
I guess, but there's different people. There's all different member. It's like the X-Men, so it's pick and choose.
Yeah, so it's a lot of them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it exists like throughout a long period of time. Like some of the characters have been alive for, like 60 years.
Yeah.
Some of them, so they don't seem to age.
Well, Danny the Street would probably be pretty old.
Yeah.
I would assume, since he's a street.
Yeah, it's a crazy show. It's definitely worth watching. I think. Well, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say that, if it's worth watching or not. I need you to watch it so you can give me your take.
The basis of like, is it worth watching is also...
It's genuinely different than anything you've seen before.
But you also have to take in consideration that you have to buy another...
Correct.
Like... streaming app,
or you can just use my login.
No, I'm saying like for general people, like in around, like,
is it enough to make your general purpose person or general casually interested person purchase another streaming app? No.
Okay.
Is it enough for you to purchase a streaming app? Yes.
And I'm like I said, I gotta get it anyways because Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, I texted you the other night and I feel like the trailer that came out is overly horror.
So did you? I got confused by that because that trailer I think's been out for a while.
I just watched it.
Well, they just dropped a new teaser trailer. That's just like a girl laying in the swamp, and then you get a close up on her face, and Swamp Thing's face is right next to her.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It's really short, but
I saw one that was really long. Well,
yeah, they're like really driving boats around in the bayou.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. That's the one I was originally texting you before about how it was definitely a horror take. That's the one I had watched.
Okay, that's
this new one. They show Swamp Thing's face like close up.
Oh, good.
It looks great.
Yeah,
it looks really close to the comics.
Good.
So I think it could be really good. I don't mind.
That's what I was worried about. Like one of the worries I had the most is how they made him look. Because if he looked goofy or didn't look like the comics, I don't like that.
I don't mind it being a horror take. I really don't.
No, I'm
still in the bag for it.
I don't mind it being a horror take. I just thought it seemed like overly horror. Like they were trying to overdo it just for that.
I feel like if
teaser.
It's DC doing this show, they're not going to just do something completely off the wall. They're going to have to do something that's at least source material related.
I would agree, but Batman shot guns in Justice League, so
that's true. That's true. Like, I don't know why. People. It's kind of really annoying to me that they do all of these DC animated movies. Well, and why haven't they made the Alan Moore saga of Swamp Thing run, which is widely considered to be one of the greatest runs of comic books ever, and it just happens to be a DC property, and they have a history of making R-rated DC cartoon animated movies. So why wouldn't they make that? Why isn't that being made right now?
Good question.
So anyway,
and why would they cut this one short? You know, I mean, it's because of the whole, Warner Brothers and DC, like
maybe it's not good.
And AT&T, I don't know, merger.
It's possible it's just not good.
Don't tell me that. I want it to be very good.
In any case,
that's good.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Did you watch the new Game of Thrones?
I did watch the new Game of Thrones.
This would be the second to last episode.
It is. It's number 5, second to last episode.
So annoying.
Right off the bat, I'm going to say this season is rushed.
This season is,
it's too rushed.
Definitely rushed. They've just completely cast aside certain characters that they've been building arcs for. And then they're not giving other character arcs their due that have been building for years.
Exactly. And I guess
it's pretty much not a secret anymore. The cast is not happy.
Oh, really? I didn't read
they're all
anything
pretty pissed off.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. They should be.
They're think how much time they put in this.
Their lives. Some of them.
Yeah.
Like Maisie Williams has literally spent her life, all of her acting career for this show. And I don't think they're doing her.
She's the one exception that's actually going to get a decent character arc, probably.
I think so. And let me tell you, I was pretty close on what I guessed.
I don't remember what you guessed, so.
I said that her and the
Hound... Spoilers.
Yes, this is absolutely spoilers.
There's going to be some spoilers here, but you don't have to skip the whole episode, 10 minutes. We'll talk about this.
10 minutes, I'm going to...
If you haven't... Well, everybody, if they're watching Game of Thrones, they've seen
I thought
this
you
episode.
told me I only had 10 minutes. And I was like, what the hell? I had said in a previous episode of Snarf Talk that Maisie Williams, or Arya Stark, and the Hound would go, after she killed the Night King, she was going to go kill Cersei. That was her thing. And that's how they were going to play it up. Her and the Hound going there. And I said that she would die trying to do that, and the Hound would die protecting her to do that.
Which is not at all what happened.
So I was pretty close.
Not really.
He dies,
but
fighting his brother.
I'm the one that said.
Yeah, you did. You said fighting his brother.
Yeah.
But I said I don't know how he's going to die or where he's going to die, but I know he's going to die there.
That was a pretty cool.
When they go there.
That was a cool scene.
And I thought she was going to get a lot closer to her and then be killed by somebody. That was pretty close.
Yeah,
I mean, it was pretty close.
I did like that scene. I liked the fact that they had that moment, her and the Hound, and he was able to talk her out of it.
Yes, because he's been living like he said, he's lived his whole life.
Look at me. Look at what it's done to me.
He's lived his whole life that way. he's like, and this is going to end in death, basically. I'm telling you,
which
you will die.
Which she knows. I don't think that's what scared her off. I think not scared her off. I think it was more like him giving her permission to not do it. Like her being able to look at him and say, like, you don't have to live like this.
Right.
And I thought that was a good moment. And the fight between him and the mountain was fine. I thought it was a little ridiculous at times. It went on a little long.
It did go a little long, but I do think...
I thought it was cool when he stabbed him in the head, though, and he just pulled it out.
Yeah, he was trying to pull it out, but then he, like, tackled him. And I think it was fitting. I assumed he was going to die in fire because they build up how terrified he was of fire, and then his brother did that to him to begin with, and then they die together in a fire. Right. Well, they fall to their death, but they fall into it like a giant fire.
So, I mean, if I'm saying the goods, I would say that. I would say the scene between Jaime and Tyrion was good.
Yes.
Everything else about Tyrion continues to be terrible this season.
Agreed.
They're not giving that character any justice. Everybody's favorite character, they're just ruining the end of, and they're not giving him anything to do.
No, he's had literally nothing to do besides fail.
Right.
Just by guessing
and make decisions that he wouldn't make.
He would no.
And Jon Snow, what a worthless lump of nothing.
Which is ridiculous to me because he's supposed to be the character that everybody, like, I assumed and wanted him to take over the throne. But I didn't want him to constantly say, "She is my queen."
He just sucks.
She is my queen. Yeah, we get it, dude, but she's freaking insane.
Now, there's a lot of people that are freaking out over the fact that Daenerys went crazy and burned the city up. And they're saying, that's against character, that's against character.
No.
I disagree. They've been teasing that madness for a long time.
Because of the Targaryen bloodline is like
insane. And beyond that, it totally makes sense for what she's trying to accomplish. She said specifically outright, I'm going to burn King's Landing to the ground when she landed in Westeros.
Yeah.
She said it. And the only people, this whole entire time, she's like hyper aggressive. The only people that have been trying to talk her off the ledge were her advisors, were Tyrion, Varys, Jon Snow. They're the ones always talking her off the cliff. And now they're all dead or not trustworthy. So it totally makes sense in her mind. So it totally makes sense for her to go like, well, these people have all fucked me over. Let's watch it all burn. And it also makes sense for her character in the vein of this whole system is fucked.
Yeah.
So burn it to the ground and we'll start over, which is what I said with the Thanos idea. That's the tyrant mentality.
Yep.
So it totally makes sense with their character. It's totally on brand with the character. You didn't like to see it happen, but it made sense. I didn't think they would go that direction. I thought at the last minute they were going to tease that, because I said they've been teasing that. I thought they were going to tease that, and the last second she would pull back.
Yeah. So I didn't think she was going to burn up like the village.
The city, yes.
Yeah, I thought she was going to go straight to the Red Keep and like destroy it. You know, she was looking at it. You could see in her eyes like, I'm going to take that out. But I didn't think she was going to just like, you know, fly around and burn up the village, which she did obviously do. I don't know why though. Like, what did she get out of that?
Well, like what I said. I mean, all the stuff I said, it's true about her character. However, it does go against her character because she has a history of not killing innocents and doing those things,
saving all of the enslaved, and
you know, they're really forcing it down your throat that she's isolated and she's mad and that's a Targaryen alone in the world is a dangerous thing, you know, blah blah. So they're playing that up, and it's just a little on the nose, you know. I mean, I thought it was completely ridiculous how they could sit there and tease that this would be anything nearly to a close fight, and then it appears like single-handedly with one dragon that apparently before this time been completely worthless.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden is the ultimate nuclear weapon.
This is what I was going to bring up too, is that
I mean, what a joke.
And the scorpions that they have that shoot down, you know, they shoot at the dragons. I saw a bunch of memes about this today, and they were always like a, you know, cut in half meme, and it was like episode 4 of Game of Thrones, and it's a guy holding like a Gatling gun, like just shooting up in the air, and then it was episode 5, and it was a guy with a slingshot.
Yeah,
like
they
shooting
never
up in
shot
the air.
him.
They didn't. They barely shot at him, and I feel like it was a little more
That's definitely
like accurate.
that way more realistic.
I think it was more accurate in the 5th episode because there's no way that they're going to be able to catch up to a dragon when it can fly directly over top of you, and you have to spin around to this giant, bow basically, or crossbow. You have to spin that around and try to shoot at it again, and then once you shoot, there's no way you're going to get it reloaded in time to do it again.
Right.
So
it actually made more sense.
It did make more sense, but
why tease everybody this even fight thing for so long?
It wasn't an even fight. They should have came in with 2 dragons and demolished everyone right away, I feel like, and they didn't. Well,
that is the contributing factor to
why
her
she's
going
insane.
mad is because she listened to advisors. She split her forces.
Right.
When she landed on Westeros, the first thing she wanted to do was take King's Landing. And she got talked out of it. She wanted to go take King's Landing and then go deal with the White Walkers. She got talked out of it. She then got talked into going north of the Wall, which she got a dragon killed. Got talked into it by her advisors, by Jon Snow, by all these people. So she's really just feeling like everybody has failed her, which everybody has for the most part. I mean, if you're taking her position. But
I don't think Jon would. It's just that
I think Jon's a useless sack of dog turds.
I don't think he would be as useless if he was able to actually make a decision.
Yeah.
Because when he was on his own making decisions, he did it well. And then he decided to...
I've never been a big fan of his character, to be honest.
Really?
No. I don't know. He just always struck me as kind of whiny and annoying.
I like him.
But what a terrible end for Jaime Lannister, and just that was a non-paying off of his character arc completely.
Big time.
But... And then I kind of read somebody wrote an article. They're like, well, but that maybe that was the point. That they think that this journey you've taken with him and gone to like him, and he's turned everything around. But at the end, it doesn't matter because he just goes right back to it.
So what?
Like a drug addict,
What's it? DB Weiss and somebody else. What's the other guy? Beinhoff, the writers.
Yeah.
After the show, they were talking about it. And they said that earlier in Game of Thrones, Jaime talks about when he dies, he's going to die with the woman he loves in his arms. He's going to. And they say that he says that in another episode. I don't remember it, but they said he did. And then they said, well, he absolutely loves Cersei. So he comes back to her, and that's how he dies. With the woman he loves in his arms, and then he tells her, like, it's okay, this is what we are supposed to do, like, we are supposed to die here together. I just think it was dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb.
I don't, that's fine.
You think correctly.
Yeah, I don't, you could have done it a little differently. Like, I think it would have been better if you had her get killed by somebody. I feel like she needed to be killed by a person.
Yeah, somebody
needed to come and murder her.
And
because
talk about,
she deserves that.
Cersei standing and smirking.
That's all she does. For the whole season.
Yeah.
It's every episode except for the second or third one. I think the third one's the only one you don't see her. Where they had the big Night King battle, or the White Walker battle. I think that's the only episode you don't see her in. But either way, every other episode that you've seen her, she's been standing in the same room, not moving, staring out the window, saying no words.
Yeah, with a dumb look on her face.
Yeah, with that stupid look on her face and that dumb wig. Because I know it looks like a wig. Maybe it's not, but her hair is ridiculous.
Right.
Do you have a mirror? Look in the mirror because you look like an idiot. So on Rotten Tomatoes, they don't have last night's, or what was it, last night? Yeah, last night. They don't have last night's episode up, but the episode before that was 58%. And that's the worst of the season. It went 92, 88, 74.
I think that was the best episode of the season, too.
58. And then, so the overall rating right now is sitting at 77%. And the lowest one prior to that was season 1 at 91%.
Yeah.
So it's definitely taking a toll.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else can I comment on? Sansa Stark doesn't have anything to do either. She's not a character, apparently.
The stupid thing with Euron Greyjoy and Jaime Lannister's fight at the shore that he just happens to be at.
Right. He swims to the exact shore that Jaime's in. And also, here's another gripe I had. Apparently, it takes about 14 minutes for them to arrive at this town. Are they right next to each other? Is the north and...
Well, no. They've been marching for like 2 or 3 days.
No. So Tyrion was at, like, talking to Jaime, and then the next scene, Jaime is there, walking through the crowd.
No, they were encamped, like, right outside. The encampment for the north was right outside of King's Landing.
Is that where they were at?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I missed
because
that
they
part.
even say before and early on when they're at Dragonstone, that John shows up and he's like, they're a day away, and then like later
that's
on,
right. That's right.
He's
so
like, okay, we're waiting for the rear guard. They'll be here in the morning, and they wanted to attack that night.
That's right. I was wrong.
And Dragonstone, I believe the castle that they start at, Daenerys, I think is right next to King's Landing. I think, or near.
It's got to be way further south.
Maybe.
Because they're the north. They got to be way up north, right?
No, Dragonstone's not in the north.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Winterfell. Anyway, everything about this season is wrong to me. I haven't really enjoyed it.
And just rushed.
It is.
I'm still excited to see it. Super excited to see it when it comes on. And I'm not sitting here saying like I was let down by the episode last night. Like, no, I enjoyed it. I really did. I did enjoy it. It's like one of those things, like upon further retrospection, I find a lot of problems with it, but I didn't really have a problem with it at the time. I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was interesting and exciting. So I don't like all these things where I'm picking stuff apart. They're not like super heavy criticisms. Like I still enjoyed watching it. I thought it was cool as hell seeing that dragon burn down that city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I thought it was cool.
They spent some money on that.
Oh, my God.
That CGI, because the way they did the CGI for the dragon is amazing. Like absolutely amazing.
I did think it was comically easy for them to win that battle.
Yes.
Like it was basically the dragon gets up, flies around, blows up all the crossbows, and then basically they surrendered.
That's it.
Yeah.
And they immediately surrendered. They threw everything down. I didn't like. I understand it. I understand why Grey Worm like starts killing people, because he kind of wants to take him out too for killing Missandei.
Yeah, Dragonstone is very near King's Landing. You know how that's like right on the inside of that Blackwater Bay? Remember that?
Yes. Yep.
Right on the outside of Blackwater Bay is Dragonstone.
Okay.
So they're literally across the bay.
Gotcha.
They can probably see each other in this fictional map.
Yeah. So I don't know what else to say.
So what's going to happen in the next episode? What are we doing next? Obviously, Daenerys is going to die.
So I think, and here's another guess.
Okay.
About Arya Stark. She's going to kill her.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're heavily foreshadowing that.
You think so?
That's not like you're not going out on a limb.
I don't think they're. When have they foreshadowed that Arya was going to?
That was the whole thing. Why they kept going back to her at the end. Like, clearly they were foreshadowing, like, that's Arya's going to kill Daenerys.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was foreshadowing at all. I think it was just foreshadowing that she lived and rode a horse away.
No.
She got on a horse and rode away. How
that
was
the whole point of everything, like her running around that town and seeing the devastation, the destruction, and her coming to the realization that she's the only one that is going to be able to kill. She's going to kill Daenerys.
No, it wasn't. If you watch her running around, there is none of her like looking for Daenerys to try to kill her or thinking like this is all her doing. No, it was I'm trying to just survive. I'm trying to survive and get the hell out of here. Because she was in the worst place to try to get out, which was right in the middle of the city. So that's why you see her running all the time and like getting collapsed upon. They don't say it afterwards, but if you watch the after the show thing, they said that the only reason they put Arya like as the character that you follow through there is because you have more emotion attached to that character rather than just extras running around.
Oh, well, yeah.
So they said you follow her so that
she's your entryway into the action, basically.
Yeah. Of
I could see that.
Exiting the city, and that way you like care about what she's doing rather than just like you wouldn't care as much about extras running around and the city falling.
Yeah.
But yeah, the foreshadowing, I guess I could agree with only when she sees the mother and daughter laying there burn up on the ground right before she leaves. Like that part, I think she really thought like this is effed up.
Yeah, I think she's going to kill her. I don't know. I don't think Jon Snow's going to survive. That's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to pick apart like
it's gonna be the Starks left. That's it.
What is I don't know what Daenerys' plan is. I mean, because none of her. I mean, Tyrion can't go to her. No, obviously he won't.
No,
and he's got to play a role in this final episode too. What's his role going to be?
I don't.
Obviously,
who knows? I bet you he'll be wrong with whatever he says.
John's going to play a role. Obviously, they're both considered traitors now.
Yeah, to Daenerys. Yeah.
So,
but she's going to get killed. So. What happened? Like, I don't understand where the story goes after this.
There's not enough time to establish anything that even has a semblance of being satisfying.
Agreed. There isn't, because like I said, so she dies, but then what do they kill her right at the end, and then they just like let you wonder about how the Starks go on with everything, or.
I just hate everything about this.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's way too rushed. They should have split this up in at least another season.
It's taking something that's been so amazing and just basically making it a joke.
So which actors have been bitching about the season? Because I guess I didn't realize this.
I can't remember exactly, but I guess the guy who plays Jon Snow said the final episode was terrible or something like that.
Kit Harington. I think Emilia Clarke said something about. Apparently, there's like viral videos going on of them watching the cast. Like, I don't know if they have a showing. Really?
Watching these episodes and like being visibly pissed off.
Really?
Apparently, like it's going around the internet. I haven't been really on the internet
have to
today,
look it up.
So gather more information on that, and we'll talk about it next time.
Okay. So.
Anyway, that's all the Game of Thrones that I can stand to talk about.
I would like to know your guys' opinion on this, the listener. Whoever's been watching the show, I want to know your guys' take.
Are we being overly critical?
Yeah.
It's possible.
I'm sure I am, because I haven't really enjoyed much of it. And honestly, last night, I only watched it because I knew I was going to have to talk about it.
Oh, really? You weren't
for
like,
recording it?
Couldn't wait to watch it.
I was going to wait. I was like... At first, I was like, I don't need to watch it. I'll watch it sometime this week. And I was like, oh, no, we're going to record probably sometime this week, so I better watch it soon. Because we usually always record in the first half of the week.
Right.
And I thought, well, crap, I'm not going to be able to really watch it until Thursday if I don't watch it tonight. So, yeah. So here
where your allegiances lie.
It hasn't caught my attention because it has been so rushed, and I haven't been excited about seeing I was excited to see the next episode until the last one. When the last one was okay, but I was like, once they killed her, I was like, I know she's going to go there and destroy the city now. I know that's what's going to happen because I knew that they were going to fight soon, and I knew that nobody was going to like that, and because Varys called it, and now Varys is dead.
Yeah.
She burned him up, and he's sitting up there, dead, looking down like, told you so, like, told everybody. and Jon Snow, what the hell is he doing, man? It just bugs the crap out of me that this guy that supposedly led armies and he's been brought back to life to do this thing, killing White Walkers and had a bunch of battles that were really cool earlier in the seasons, and now all of a sudden he's going to just be like, she's my queen.
Yeah, I don't know where
I have to stand here and listen. I don't make decisions anymore.
I don't know where that's... It's so against character.
Yes, it is 100% against character, and it pisses me off.
Because, like, his whole thing has kind of been opposite of that for the whole... and what has she really done to deserve his allegiance?
Nothing.
Yes, she showed up
she
with
has
the
dragons.
army that just ended up being responsible for essentially destroying the White Walkers. But, okay. What else? What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, exactly. Besides,
he just doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would be impressed. Like, oh, she's got dragons. Impressive.
right.
Let's
Well,
just follow her.
I was brought back from the dead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't like it.
I did like seeing him come to that realization, in the streets.
Yeah.
When you saw that.
Which I assumed he would at that point. As soon as, like...
But then apparently came to that realization, and then him and all his guys just stood there for, like, the next half an hour. Just
they did,
being like,
staring around,
okay,
looking at each other.
We'll just stand here.
Can we leave? Like, are we good? Time to go yet?
Not like turn around and be like, okay, well, this is fucked up. We're out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. That is, again, I want to hear all your guys' opinions on this because maybe I am just being overly critical. I mean, I can't write this stuff, like how it has to be terribly hard to try to wrap up.
I'm sure.
And maybe, do you think HBO is forcing them into the situation where they're like, okay, we're only going to give you this season left? So.
How? No, there's no way. They're making a gold mine on
Oh,
this
I
show.
know they are, but I don't know. I don't know what's talked about behind the scenes.
I don't know. Maybe it just costs too much to make or something. I don't know. That's possible.
Oh, it's like the most expensive show ever made, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
it is. I'm almost positive it is, but I don't know. I think I heard that somewhere once. Joe Rogan told me.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Joe Rogan lately. He's
you?
got some interesting cats on.
I have not. I haven't listened to basically any of it in a while.
He had an interesting dude on the other day that buys salvaged Teslas and rebuilds them.
I saw an article on Facebook actually about that guy.
The guy was super annoying, but
was he?
It was kind of cool that he was doing that.
Huh. Yeah, because he like
he has a YouTube channel.
Scraps his own parts and like makes things for him, right? Is he an engineer?
No, I don't know. He's kind of a tool.
A lot of engineers are. Nothing against engineers. They just
he's not
seem
an
like
engineer.
socially
He's like
awkward.
a tech guy.
Oh.
But anyway, it was an interesting enough podcast.
Is he like uppity? Like he thinks he's better than you?
No, I don't know how to describe him. He just seemed like he was. He seemed like there's sometimes you'll get guys on there that you could tell they're just like suck ups. They just like agree with everything that he says, or I just find it annoying. He does have an interesting guy I'm listening to right now. I can't even remember the guy's name. It's like CT something or other. He's a fighter, and he like had a heart transplant a year ago. He's like 60 years old now. He must be retired, but I think it's CT Fletcher. Oh, he was a bodybuilder or powerlifting champion. He has like the world record for a bunch of power lifts.
I saw that up there. I haven't listened to it or anything.
He's a cool dude, man.
Really?
And like good. That's a good podcast. Very uplifting.
Doesn't he talk about something about like how he changed?
Yeah, he was talking about, you mean like
emotionally or changed like after his surgery?
Yeah, like all kinds of stuff like that. He goes into depth about all that, and it's super interesting. He was also talking about how he doesn't know, they won't tell him where the heart came from that he got, but he got a woman's heart that was too small for his body. And he was like super mad when he found out about it because it's not going to last probably that long. But so he was like mad at the doctors, and the doctors like, that's what we had to do to save your life. Right. That's the only heart we had available. And I guess like
is that a thing? I guess I didn't realize that.
Within a week, the heart grew to fit his body.
What?
Yeah.
That's a thing too?
Apparently. So I guess it's all fine now. But he also talks about like how he has he didn't call them dreams. They're not dreams. He just has like waking realizations that he claims, and he's not like trying to be like super paranormal about it or anything. He's like, I just know, or I have a feeling. He's like, I want to know where this heart came from because I just have a strong feeling that it's an Asian lady. And he's like, and every now and again, like I can just see or hear conversations that she had.
What?
And he's like, it could be completely bullshit, but like I just want to know because I want to know if I'm crazy or if this is like a thing.
Or if you're like feeling part of her.
Yeah.
That stuff is weird.
And he talks to her like on a daily basis. They have like a rapport.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in his brain.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Whoa.
It's a cool podcast. He's a cool dude. And he does it, and none of these, I know this like can come off sounding kind of douchey, but it's not when he says it. Like, he seems like a super genuine dude.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds douchey. Well, it's coming from him.
That's not the right word. I just meant like it can sound like paranormal or like kind of.
That's wild though. I know I've heard people say like after heart surgeries and stuff you change. Like my grandpa had open heart surgery, and after that he got like he's been super emotional. This was early 2000s, so like 2002 or 3. I was still in high school, and he had open heart surgery, and ever since then, like he's overly emotional on everything.
Okay, that's funny. He kind of talks about that or something similar like that. He's like the experience of dying. He talks a lot about that. The experience of dying. He died 3 times.
Wow.
Before he got this heart transplant, and obviously was resuscitated every time, but he's like that experience, it completely changes you, is basically what he was saying.
Yeah.
And he's like, you I know what you're thinking, like, oh, not me. That's just somebody saying that. But he's like, no, it just fundamentally changes every aspect of who you are. So kind of similar.
That's crazy. I'm definitely going to have to listen to that one because that intrigues me.
Yeah.
Like I want to know about that Asian lady.
Yeah.
Like if that's... So is there a reason why the doctors don't tell them this? Like, I
don't know. It seems there like there shouldn't be, but
because I've always heard about these things.
Maybe
of
it's
people
up to the donor.
You know, like people going and listening to the hearts of their like loved ones in other people's chests, and like I don't know, people knowing about who was donated where.
I don't know why this is not known. Maybe it's a choice to the donor.
It could be,
or to their
family. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know why you would do that though. Or maybe I don't know.
It was crazy hearing him talk about it's like a super long recovery. And like
for a heart transplant?
Yeah. It's like a year, and even now
it really doesn't surprise me though, I guess. Yeah. I would assume it would be.
And then there's a lot like you can just like never do again.
Like run?
Yeah. That's one thing. Like there was a video, like he's a YouTube personality, I guess. So there was like a video like right after he had the hand transplant and he got out of the hospital and stuff, and he was still like struggling to walk and stuff, which is one thing that I found weird. Like it took him a long time to walk again, which doesn't seem like for a heart transplant that would be a thing necessarily.
I guess
it probably has to do with your heart rate and your blood and
circulation. Because if you're not oxygenating like all the parts of your body correctly, which would be through circulation, like pumping the blood there.
Yeah, and I'm assuming in the meantime of that transplant, like that muscle, the heart is a muscle, so probably parts of it atrophy, and they have to be.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, how do you rate how good the heart is after it's not been beating for so long?
Right. I mean, it must have a certain amount of cellular death.
Yeah, you would assume, and you can't regrow. Well, he did.
It must.
He did. If it's bigger,
I mean, it must regenerate over time.
That's wild.
That's why it has a long recovery period. But anyway, he had a video of him running and he falls, which apparently
is bad. Yeah.
And like his doctors saw the video and they were like freaking out.
Like, don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I wish I understood that stuff. Like who are these people that figure this out?
I don't know, man.
Who are you? Come on the show.
Is it possible that we're just...
If any heart surgeons are listening to this podcast, which I'm sure there's a million of them out there that are listening to us, we would like to have you on the show and talk to you about how you did this.
I don't want to discount heart surgeons or heart surgery, which I imagine is crazy. Like, but maybe that's just is what we imagine. Maybe it's not that complicated. Have you ever thought about that?
No, no, it is.
No, but I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, is it as simple as just like
swapping it out?
Yeah.
Just swapping out a battery.
Like there's like 4 arteries, right? Main arteries or something going in the heart. You just cut them, put the new one in there, and just sew them back together. And then you're like, I hope that works.
I mean,
or is there like more to it?
That's probably how it started. And and it failed miserably until they realized what else you needed to do.
But what else do you need to do?
You got to cut the pericardium. Duh.
Are there nerves?
And then you got to seal it back up with the new pericardium.
Well, there must be nerves. So do you reattach nerves?
I don't think you can
glob them
reattach a
together
nerve.
and they just kind of grow back together.
That's exactly what you do. Glob nerves together. That's what they're like. Give me a glob of nerve.
Yeah.
50 cc's of nerve globs.
I think it's like in Avatar when they take their little ponytail thing and it like tentacles up.
Yep, that's what they have to do that.
Tentacle it up.
No, you would. I guess the nerves would have to reattach themselves.
Listen, there's a lot of heart surgeons out there. A lot of them.
I know, and I want one of them to come on the podcast and talk to us about
But
this.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of heart surgeons, and if it was like the most difficult thing to do, there wouldn't be so many.
But if you take the amount of heart surgeons that are in the U.S. compared to the like actual census of like the population, it's like 1% probably or less.
Totally. I'm not saying that's
not
not
a
true.
lot.
But if it was like something that was like almost so impossibly difficult, then you'd have like 5 heart surgeons in the United States. But instead you have like, a lot more than 5. You got to be at least 10.
Okay. Yes, there are probably at least 10.
No, there's basically 1 at every hospital, right? 1 or 2 at every hospital, probably. Decent sized hospital. I mean,
yeah, depending on the hospital, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I've joked for years and years to Amy that I'm basically a doctor, but I'm not a heart surgeon. Okay.
I was performed on by a heart surgeon.
You had an ablation.
Cardiac ablation.
Right.
Which isn't really, I don't know if that technically considered surgery, more of a procedure.
A procedure, yeah.
He was
burn something off of your heart.
He was a something.
An electrician.
Specializes in the electrical impulses.
He works for Mead.
But this guy was like the one in the United States. Like he pioneered the surgery.
I mean, there's probably 10 of them, at least, that have pioneered this.
Well, he founded like the whole surgery and the department at University of Chicago, and then moved to Northwestern and founded their entire electrocardiogram program.
Well, Mead Electric's been around for a while, Chris. Yeah, that's a big deal. I bet you he's got some money.
I don't know, but all I remember when I was in that
he's rich
surgical room or whatever, and I was like, it wasn't like full out. It was like twilight, right? So I was like in and out of it.
Yeah.
And they were totally playing like a 90s punk rock station on Sirius that was like nonstop, like Blink 182 and Good Charlotte.
Some 41.
Some 41 and bands like that. I'm like, I kept waking up. I'm like, all right, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I like this.
And then I'd look over at the nurse and be like, why the fuck am I awake?
Yeah. I think they do that.
I don't want to be awake.
Well, I do think they do that obviously on purpose because one, they'd have to intubate you if you were like actually under anesthesia.
Do they really?
100%. You always have to be intubated if you go under anesthesia.
So it's funny. We were just on the.
I didn't know this either until Amy told me.
We were just driving home from Streeter, and Marley was saying, "Hey, how does I don't know where it came from, but she's like, how does anesthesia work?" And I'm like, I don't know, because you're not sleeping.
No,
you're dead.
You're in a coma. You're like it's a forced coma basically.
So then I looked it up
from what I've heard,
and it like the medication they give you basically like completely blocks the nerves from like your brain to whatever part of body you want to do. So if it's full anesthesia, I would assume from your brain stem down, everything is just gone, lights out.
Right. It is. It depends on what they're doing. There's different
but they don't control your heart, right?
No, your heart still beats, but I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Amy again, but
Maybe
can't breathe on your own.
So you can't breathe on your own, or are they just concerned about you like swallowing or drowning or
that too?
Okay.
But they're breathing for you.
Something's compressing your chest?
Yeah, I think so. No, like they
Oh yeah.
It's forced into you.
Yeah.
They don't have to like compress your chest. It's just like does it for
crazy,
you.
Man. It's crazy how high of a success
wild.
rate they have for surgery in general.
Right.
And doctors in general.
It's very successful.
Like people complain about doctors and like medicine, but like the success rate is out of control high. Like it's
you're
super
not
high.
supposed to be opened up Like, really, like it's not, you're sealed up for a reason,
Yeah.
And it's wild that we can do that. But think about what I always think about is like in the Civil War times when they were just hacking legs off and stuff, because it was better to do that than just live with the infection.
Yeah.
But then again, hacking your leg off was almost guaranteed infection because they didn't know anything about it. They're just like, well, you're going to either lose a lot of blood from this hole or we're going to hack your leg off and it might work.
Yeah.
And that was it. It's like, this might work. And people lived.
Well, I think they were more concerned with like gangrenous infection.
Right, but they couldn't control it after they cut your leg off either because
I think
you
had a better chance. Okay, so if you had like a leg wound,
right,
or something like that, I think you had a way better chance of not having an infection if you amputate the limb.
Correct, especially of it spreading through your blood.
Right.
The problem with that is like they didn't have any sterilization processes yet.
Yeah, but try and like if you have just a pile like bloody tissue ripped apart.
Oh yeah,
try
you can't
like
fix
fixing that
versus, you have to cut all that
versus
out.
like just cauterizing a stump.
Right. I know. The problem is that cauterizing doesn't get rid of all infection either.
Right.
So like everybody got infections no matter what after a surgery. It's just they knew where it came from and they could try to treat that, but really most people died.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And then they didn't have anesthesia either. So they just hacked your leg off while you're awake.
It's that Louis Pasteur. He did it, man.
That guy. Is that who? No, he thought of pasteurization, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Who were you trying to think of?
I don't know. Whoever invented penicillin or discovered penicillin.
Oh, yeah. Who was that? That was...
Not Louis
Pasteur. I can't think
Not
of it.
Louis Pasteur.
No,
Alexander Fleming.
Oh, right. And he found it from bread mold.
Yeah.
I knew that.
He was Scottish, and he defined new horizons for modern antibiotics with his discoveries of enzyme, lysozyme, and the antibiotic substance penicillin, which, yeah, it's crazy that people also search for Louis Pasteur, by the way.
Okay. Well, they're wrong, so that doesn't make you right.
Well, maybe he did something related to antibiotics. Maybe that's why I said that.
Well, I mean, he figured out how to pasteurize things to make it safe for consumption.
Salman Waxman was considered the father of antibiotics. He was born in a rural Ukrainian town.
I do think it's crazy that penicillin is still like widely used, like prevalently as a good antibiotic. Yeah.
Penicillin?
Yes.
Is that the same thing as amoxicillin?
All psyllins come from the same family.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I know that because I'm allergic to all of them.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I can never take a psyllin.
So you're probably gonna die.
No, they've got plenty of other antibiotics.
They do?
Yes. Why are you asking these dumb questions?
What are the other ones?
I don't know.
I've taken Cipro.
Yeah, Cipro's bad, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to take it when you go to Africa, you take a bottle of Cipro. It's really fast acting. It's super powerful.
But people have gotten really sick from that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's good for you, but if you're like got dysentery in a bush of Alaska, you're taking Cipro.
Yeah, for sure you are taking it. There's one that starts with a B I've taken a lot. I don't remember what it's called now though. Amy, I don't remember these things. I just ask Amy.
Bactine?
No. Yep. Yeah, just drank a bottle of Bactine.
Wait, what was Bactine again?
It's like a washing thing. Like you wash.
It's alcohol, right?
You like wash out wounds with that.
It's a first aid treatment. Yeah.
It is, but it's not an antibiotic. It's not on a cellular level.
It's antiseptic and lidocaine, a topical anesthesia and anesthetic.
Oh, so it like numbs the pain and cleans it.
I think you take like Bactine. If you got like mosquito bites, you can put Bactine on it.
And Caladryl.
Yeah, Caladryl lotion. Mm-hmm. That shit is garbage.
It is.
My mom always always had bottles of that stuff.
We did too. And my mom used to be like, let's just lather you up.
Yeah, and then you got like pink all over you.
Yeah, everywhere.
Did you ever have to take an oatmeal bath?
Oh, yeah. I did that with chicken pox.
How come nobody
It
does
didn't
that
work.
anymore?
That didn't work either because it doesn't work. That's why.
But like that was a definite thing when we were kids. Was everybody took oatmeal baths?
Yes, if you had chicken pox.
Well, yeah, if you had chicken. Nobody gets chicken pox anymore, do they?
Yeah, I mean,
don't they have a vaccine now? Yeah, they totally
maybe
do.
they do. You're right. Yeah, I think Grady's had a chicken pox vaccine.
They have
already.
a vaccine now. I don't think they get them anymore, but if they do get them, it's like much less severe. I think that maybe they still get them, but you get like a couple pox.
Really? Oh, just a couple of them pox, them little pox.
A pox.
Hey, you got any of them pox? Ooh, hey, talk about pox. I had smallpox vaccine, and before we deployed, that's terrible.
Like it hurts?
The vaccine itself, so they've got this needle that it's like 5 needles all in one. It's like a tattooing needle almost. And so it's inside of it's like inside of a tube, and it has the virus on it, and then they poke your arm like a bunch of times in a row, and they just keep poking you in like a little circle, and they do it like 15 times, and then they say, okay, you're done. And then they put a Band-Aid over it, and you go. The very next day, so all of us did this before we deployed. There was like a whole day of getting vaccines, like just shot after shot after shot. But after that one, the next day we all woke up, and every single one of us felt like we got hit by a bus. Like all of your lymph nodes are swollen, like all of them.
Yeah.
So your whole body is like completely sore and swollen. And I remember waking up and like looking over at Schofield. He lives in Shanahan. And
yeah, Michael.
No, actually, that's his cousin.
Oh, okay.
He was in a prison. It's not a big deal. He broke out. He was next to me. He was my roommate we lived in the same trailer when we were deployed, but he was also next to me in this barracks in Indiana. And I remember looking over at him, and he's like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, I feel terrible." Everybody did. And then we got better, but you get a big smallpox on your arm, and it itches terribly. And they said you cannot touch it. You cannot take your Band-Aid off. If you touch it, it will spread, and then they said, leave your Band-Aid on no matter what. Do not wash it. Like if you drag a rag over it or a towel of any sort, you're going to spread it. And they said, be wary of getting satellite pox because they will start to show up if you've spread it at all. And I had one little satellite pox that came off of it, but they itched so bad, and you couldn't touch it until the scab fell off on its own.
Could you put calamine lotion on it?
No, you couldn't even. They kept telling you,
take an oatmeal bath.
Yeah, they kept telling you make sure you take a regular oatmeal bath
just like
because it cures everything.
10 military dudes in like a oatmeal hot tub.
Oatmeal baths.
Just one of them in the middle with a big stirring stick, just stirring it up.
That's what we did. That's what we did. Made some hot oatmeal with our pox.
Oh, that's gross.
It was not good. And then, so everybody had to wait for the scab to fall off. And they're like, don't ever take your Band-Aid off either. But everybody's Band-Aids fell off on their own because they lose stickiness. And then everybody's got these latex gloves on, picking up Band-Aids all over this barracks. I don't know how people didn't get covered in it, but I've seen some pictures.
Because it's probably a severely, it's not it's like a weakened viral strain, right?
I would assume so, yes.
Well, yeah, that's the
but
point.
I've seen pictures of people with smallpox covering their whole body. I don't even know how they were sitting up.
They're from the 1920s.
Well, long time ago.
It's not been around for a long time.
No, it was long time ago, but I've seen pictures of them, and they look absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Not even like a human anymore.
I didn't ever have that one. I had a bunch of other ones when I went to Africa, tons of them.
Yeah.
Yellow fever. I took that stupid malaria medicine, which makes you have horrific nightmares, apparently. It didn't for me, but
oh, really?
Common side effect of the malaria. It's called malarium or something like that.
It's just like Chantix.
Is that one of their side effects?
Chantix, the smoking thing?
Stuff?
Yeah, it gives people terrible lucid dreams and suicidal thoughts.
Yeah,
that's bad.
So I think that malaria medicine does too. Yeah, and then I had to have a bunch of other ones, but
I had an anthrax was bad too. That one kind of hurts. Gives you a big baseball sized knot in your arm.
Jeez.
And then that's like a series of 4 shots over like
So you're
8
basically
months.
indestructible.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
No, not anymore, because that was over 10 years ago now. So
I could just imagine you walking out there and being like,
Back
well,
to
that's
normal.
a piss poor super soldier serum. Just made me get into an oatmeal bath
I
with
wish
12 naked dudes.
why do all of us have to take an oatmeal bath
And why do
together?
all of us have to be naked?
They're like, yeah, go ahead. Take your pants off.
And why
Come
are
on.
you stirring this up with an oar?
Why am I in a dry oatmeal bath? Why are you just pouring bottles of dry oatmeal on my naked body? This
Is
weird.
that what the oatmeal bath was? Just Quaker Oats?
I think so.
Or was there like a formulation?
I think they had to be like what do they call them?
Who
Rolled
thought of
oats,
this?
steel cut oats.
Have you? Oh, man, I bought steel cut oats once, and I thought like
You
this
gotta-
this is buzzworthy. Everybody's talking about steel cut oats.
Yeah, but you got to soak them overnight, don't you?
Fucking terrible.
They're really bland,
I'm like,
right?
well, all the hipsters are eating steel cut oats, so I'm gonna get some.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
you
what,
gotta like soak them. It takes forever to cook them.
isn't that what you feed horses?
That's when I didn't realize that like
It's feed.
oatmeal wasn't instant oatmeal. Like instant oatmeal, like Quaker instant oatmeal is different than like
What-
oatmeal.
Well, what is the difference? I don't understand
I don't know.
what the
Obviously,
difference
it's-
is between the instant and the soaked.
Well, I don't
Steel
know.
cut.
Something about it makes it be instant within like a minute and a half in the microwave, whereas the other stuff does not.
It's probably the carcinogenic powder that they put in there.
It's so good though.
It is. I do love oatmeal. Do you like oatmeal?
Absolutely.
Here's my thing with oatmeal. All right. After I eat it, love it, eat a bunch of it, think it's really good. By the time lunch rolls around, I'm freaking starving.
It's your blood sugar.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I get
carbs,
so
man. It's straight.
hungry.
It spikes your insulin, and then it crashes, and then you're starving.
But I was always under the impression, and again, this is from my mother, and I think it was like what is ingrained in their brain. It's like, this is a hearty, thick breakfast that will keep you full for
Sticks
a
to
while.
your side.
Sticks to your ribs.
No, Mom, just because it's sticky.
Yeah. No, that's. Did your mom say that sticks to your ribs?
No.
Oh, she always said this will stick to your ribs, which means like keep you full for a long time. Yeah. It does not.
No.
Like by 10 o'clock, I'm starving and want to eat my desk.
It's a sugar crash. That's what it is. Plus, that stuff's full of sugar too. But it's so good. I haven't had oatmeal in years, but I had some the other day.
So you have had it in years.
Well, before that.
Oh, okay.
And I forgot how good it was. Yeah. And I've only ever like had the maple flavor.
That's it?
Yeah, that's like the best flavor.
No, there's apple's very good.
Well,
I love apple.
I had apple for the first time.
And it was amazing, wasn't it?
It was pretty good. I still like the maple better though.
Do you really? Yeah. Have you ever mixed a maple and an apple together?
Nope.
You should.
What are some of the other ones? There's like a strawberry
Peaches
one.
and cream,
Yeah.
strawberry.
I've never tried any of that garbage.
I think there's one. I'm sure they've got a blueberry around there somewhere. What else? There's a cinnamon roll one that Quaker makes.
Ooh, that'd be good. Is there an apricot?
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced apricot.
It's actually pronounced apricot.
Who says?
Me, I say.
You're a tree guy. You would know. They grow on trees, right?
They do. Yeah.
You ever got any apricot trees?
Yeah, I got some apricot trees growing not 50 feet from here.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever eaten like that fruit.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding me?
I ain't joking.
They're so good.
Are they?
Yeah.
Like, is it like a pear or like a
It's
peach?
like a peach, but
I've had apricot jam.
yeah, it's like a peach. It's kind of like a small peach.
So you can eat the skin?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a pit.
I believe it has a pit, yeah.
Are these trees that you have outside able to be picked from?
Yes.
So I can have one this year
Sure.
for the first time ever.
Yeah, or you could just go to the grocery store.
I don't know if I've ever seen them.
Oh, they
To
have
be-
them, yeah. There
Like,
might not
to be
in
honest, I
season
don't
right
know
now.
if I've ever really seen them.
We had a dragon fruit the other day because Cash really wanted it.
I have never had that
I've never
either.
had it either. It has no taste. It's just like bleh.
That's
It's
can't
like a
be true.
kiwi. So it looks like a kiwi, but it's white and it has basically no flavor.
It looks like a kiwi, but it's white.
Like
It's
on
a
the
white?
inside. On the
Yeah,
inside.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the-
It looks
the
really good
flesh.
with like black dots on it.
Like a kiwi.
Yeah.
but instead of green, it's white, and it tastes like nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not sweet?
Not particularly, no.
Explain the texture.
Kiwi.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe a little more gelatinous than kiwi.
Does it remind you of another fruit of some sort?
It's similar to kiwi.
Okay. All right. The bird.
Yeah, the bird.
Flightless bird.
Yeah, fry it up.
They claim to be extinct, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, or like the people from
New Zealand.
Kiwis.
Why do they call them that?
Because that's where kiwis come from. Well, that's why they call kiwis fruit kiwi, probably. Yeah. What came first, the kiwi or the kiwi fruit?
Now we've gotten into a rabbit hole.
We're in the weeds here. My sister is allergic to kiwi.
Why?
It makes her tongue swell up.
That's what penicillin does to me.
So that's what the story was. So we got the dragon fruit. Cash wanted it for Easter. So my sister went and found some, and she made a fruit salad. She put dragon fruit. It was fun. She cut it up with Cash and had him do it, so it was cool. But I never had any that day. So we had some left over the next day. And Marley's like, hey, did you try the dragon fruit? I'm like, no. She's like, well, try it. So I took a bite of the dragon fruit, and I just looked at her, and I'm like, my tongue is swelling up.
No way.
I said, my tongue is swelling up. And I'm like, and she's like laughing, and I'm like, no, seriously, my tongue is swelling up.
It was like that bad right away?
Okay, let me finish the story.
Okay.
She's like, and then she started like freaking out. I'm like, I'm having an allergic reaction. My tongue is swelling up. And she starts freaking out, and she's like, we got to go. Are you being serious? You need to tell me right now if you're being serious, because we need to go to the emergency room if you're being serious. I'm like, I'm being serious. And so she starts freaking out, running around. She's like, we're going right now. And I'm like, no, I'm totally kidding.
Okay. I was going to say, because if it was like that instant, it would be, you'd be dead.
She was not happy with me.
I'm sure she wasn't.
Suffice it to say.
I'm sure she wasn't. That's funny. I don't have any food allergies or fruit allergies because I haven't found any yet, and I'm really glad.
I don't have any food allergies either because I'm not a total...
Right, but we, as to other people, are allergic.
I am all that is man.
Not true. We are so allergic to everything else, though.
Yes,
on the outside of a building.
I'm very allergic to feathers.
Yeah, feathers really bother me.
No, that's for real. That was like one of I had one of those allergy scratch tests at my allergy doctor.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're like, you are off the charts allergic to feathers. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And horses, very allergic to horses. Cats.
I don't know why I find this so funny because I'm just as allergic.
The feather one really was the way she said it.
Just real downer.
She's just like, and you know, the more I thought about, like, I am like, anytime I have to be around or even near a bird's nest.
Oh, really?
It's devastating.
I don't think you'll take a tour of my chicken coop.
No, I don't know that like chickens have ever bothered me though.
They have feathers. Did you know that?
I know. I don't know. Like, it just seems non-specific to say you're allergic to feathers.
It's like only bluebird feathers.
And I'm like, okay, what feathers? And she's just like, I don't know, feathers.
Well, every type of robin. Can't have robins around.
And then she's like, well, you're very, very, very allergic to mosquitoes. And I'm like, well, everybody's allergic to mosquitoes. She's like, no. Most people just have a reaction like from the mosquito saliva, but you're allergic to the mosquito saliva. And so, like, everybody is to a certain extent, obviously. But
yeah,
I guess, and it's true. When I get mosquito bites, they get huge and they're super painful and they last forever.
Really?
Yeah, it sucks.
That does suck. Holy cow! I've never seen you all bumpy and red though.
Are you kidding me?
No. I mean, you must keep covered up well.
Well, I had like really bad hives like forever.
Well, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But was that from mosquitoes?
No, that was like well, they don't really know what it's from. It's definitely not from mosquitoes.
You're just allergic to something.
That was like it was a liver issue, I think.
That was a while ago then.
Yeah.
So how do you farm?
That's
my question.
I don't know. I'm really allergic to soybean dust.
Me too.
But everybody's allergic to soybean dust.
It's the worst.
I think.
Gary's not.
Yeah.
My father-in-law just lives in it.
It's really bad for you.
Yeah.
Inhale.
He knows that now and started at 64, started wearing masks around it. But
I still don't wear masks though.
Why wouldn't you?
It's because they suck.
I do. I have to because my asthma will kill me.
Yeah.
Around soybeans.
I was in a really bad bin like I think it was last year.
Yeah, you got real sick.
Yeah, I did. I got really sick. It was actually like ridiculous. I was like mad at myself.
You had some green lung.
I thought I had farmer's lung.
Isn't that? Yeah, that's what it is. Farmer's lung.
Then I started looking it up. It's like really bad.
Yeah. And then you got yourself really scared.
Yeah, but I made it out. I survived.
Good job. Now you survived to do it again this year.
Yes, I will.
How do you get bad bins? Just from water?
That particular one, it never got leveled very well. Mm-hmm. So I filled it all the way full. So it was like a big mound at the top, peak at the top. So what happens is when you dry it with the air,
yes,
the air takes the path of least resistance. So essentially the air flows through the grain, drying it, but it kind of always goes around that spot.
The cone.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it also, as your drying front moves up through the bin, it pushes the moisture up through the bin. And it all kind of concentrates in that spot and then just kind of heats up. It was like 120 degrees in there.
Whew.
And I was shoveling. This probably shouldn't be telling this story, but I was shoveling this and I was the only person down there by myself. Nobody knew where I was.
Good idea.
And I'm shoveling. It was literally like 120 degrees in there. And like it was so dusty and cloudy, like I could barely even see anything. And after like 10 minutes, not even minutes of shoveling, I'm just like, I gotta stop and catch my breath. I'm like, I'm so out of shape. This is ridiculous.
It wasn't out of shape.
No, it was actually having no oxygen in my lungs.
Yeah, and being poisoned by what was in the air.
Yeah, it was bad. And so then I kind of recovered from that time. And then like 2 days later, I had to go finish that shoveling job.
I remember that.
The second time.
That's what really got you.
Yeah.
That's what really killed you. Didn't you go to the hospital for that?
No, I did not.
Oh, I thought you did.
No. I have like all kinds of inhalers and nonsense.
Right, because you're allergic to feathers. Because of the feather allergy. So, Chris, I see you hacking into a cardboard box over there.
I don't know.
What's in that box?
Getting it ready,
Well, we only have 4 minutes left. So.
Jesus Christ. How does it go so fast?
I don't know. We have 4 minutes.
I honestly feel like we just are getting started.
Well, that's...
Stella's just getting her groove back over here.
Right, an hour and 56 minutes ago.
God, we need to record for 2 hours and then start the show.
Start the show. Oh, goodness. What's in the box?
What is in this box? This is a new box.
Brand spanking.
So we've taken a break from the oldies and the goodies to check out the newies and the goodies.
So real quick, I've come to figure out that summer shandy is really, it's not my favorite. Because I've been sucking on this one beer
You've been
for
really
2
nursing
hours.
that.
2 hours. That's ridiculous.
I'm not a fan of summer shandy or any Leinenkugel beer.
Oh, really? I don't know if I've ever had any of the others besides this one.
There was a kid that I went to college with that was obsessed with Leinenkugel. Like, he made like a pilgrimage to the brewery every year. He had like paddles and all kinds of Leinenkugel stuff.
He seems cool.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah. Okay. What's in the box?
What's in the box? The Amazing Spider-Man. Hunted.
Is that Killer Croc? Looks like him.
No.
Oh.
It's
Killer Croc.
the Lizard.
Killer Croc is a DC character, by the way.
Yeah.
If nobody caught that.
Oh, what is this? Spider-Man: The War of the Realms.
Yeah, that's a thing that's going on right now.
Midgard's most webtacular warrior. Oh, dude, that looks awesome.
Haven't you seen any of the stuff for that?
No, not really.
It's all over Comixology.
Look at that. Daredevil, number 4.
That's,
Chip Zdarsky.
So that's the one I want you to read real bad because that book's good.
I'm going to read this tonight.
Well, have you read 1, 2, or 3?
Oh, no. I thought you meant this. Literally this one.
No. Yeah, that one. But you got to read 1 through 3 in order to get to that
That's got really good art.
It's amazing. It's my favorite right now.
Is The Punisher? That's the one you told me that you were going to tell me. You didn't want to tell me the end.
Exactly.
Oh,
that's why I want you to stop flipping through that book.
Batman number 69. The Dark Reunion.
The Dark Reunion. Looks like Catwoman and Batman back together, huh?
Yeah, and
because they got married and then divorced.
Like naked dudes wrestling. That's weird.
Whew, my kind of book. Do they got any oatmeal in there?
What is going on here?
They have. I just want to know if there's oatmeal involved.
It's Bane.
Okay.
Anyway, oatmeal.
Let me see some of that Bane. All I'm saying.
I guess Bane's been on Gotham too, recently.
I really need to watch that show.
Yeah, you do.
Have you been watching it?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Batman number 68.
Okay.
Oh, good. Is that the Bachelorette party one, right? That's the one you were talking about that in an earlier episode.
No, I wasn't.
Fine. Whatever you say.
I don't even know what that one is.
Winter Soldier number 5. That's a Kyle Higgins one
it
right
is.
There.
I posted that on our Instagram and Facebook pages for people to read.
Spider-Man The Hunted number 19. Collection.
That one looks... What's on the cover?
We got the Rhino. We got Vulture. We got...
Vulture looks cool.
Some kind of a walrus dude.
Tusk.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith's Tusk.
I can't wait to see Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I'm really
he said it's
excited
exactly the same as Strikes Back.
I'm excited about that. When does it come out?
But not till like next year.
No.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was like this fall.
No.
Dead Man Logan, number 6 of 12.
I haven't read that yet, and I want to.
Yeah.
Because I'm waiting for basically the whole run to be done. Because I remember talking about that on an earlier podcast as well, that they were coming out with that. And there's already 6 issues out, so.
I think they can stop putting Captain Marvel on the back of every
single one. Yeah. I've noticed that.
When are these from? April 1st.
Oh, a month ago.
Yeah.
That's still very new.
The Walking Dead 190. Your favorite.
Yeah, love it. Love The Walking Dead.
Star Wars number 64.
Looks the same as the rest. I'm kind of over the Star Wars comic books too, just because they all look the same, and I don't understand.
You should read them.
Really? You think so?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not even anywhere near 64, but I've read the first 2 or 3 trades, so that'd be like 1 through 15, probably something.
And they're good.
Like real
good.
They're really good.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll believe you, but every cover looks exactly the same.
I mean, that 1 through 15 would have been from like 2014, so I'm way behind on it. If you guys haven't realized this, I'm way behind on all of these.
Yeah, every one of them. Chris does not read comic books. He just collects them.
I don't have time.
You do.
I spend all my free time podcasting.
Well, and listening to podcasts. That's your problem.
Amazing Spider-Man.
That one does not look good.
The Hunted.
To me. I don't like that. See, that's where Spider-Man really drags me down. Is when they give you shit covers like that.
Ooh.
With an ape on the front.
Deadpool number 11. Is that Batman? It can't be.
No. Where?
Looks kind of like Batman.
Well, Batman's a DC character, so
obviously, but sometimes they do crossovers.
Very rarely.
I don't know who that character is, but I like it. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, looks good.
I got out my new comic drawer boxes the other day.
Oh, you got them out?
Yeah, one of them. I put one together.
Are they like labor intensive?
No. Well, just the first one because I had to figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
but they won't be now. Amazing Spider-Man number 18. There's so many Spider-Mans.
Why are there so many Spider-Mans, Chris? This is ridiculous.
Daredevil number 3.
There's another one. That's a good one.
Mr. Zdarsky.
That book sets up a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happens in that book there.
Oh, we finally get a different
over in
cover.
Shazam. Look at that guy.
Ooh, I like this cover. Batman number 67.
All the way down. It's just amazing how good a lot of those books are, Batman books. Like, isn't it crazy that they have pretty successful runs most of the time?
It really is.
Like, I know they pull a lot of big names to write Batman. I get that, but man, I don't know.
Look at the size of this.
It's really good.
Lazarus Risen, issue number 1.
Holy, that's all one issue?
It's like a trade paperback.
Holy crap!
You haven't read this, right?
No, I haven't. I have it on Comixology. I just never read it yet. I don't know why I haven't, but I should. How many pages was that?
A lot. This is like a regular.
That's a graphic
it
novel.
has a spine. It's basically a graphic novel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't have page counts on them, Jerry.
I didn't know if it did or not.
No.
That's crazy huge.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about that. Is it the same writer?
What is this? Like
Greg Rucka?
Your Last Meal on Earth. It's like almost like a mini.
Looks good. Lobster though.
Yeah.
I like lobster. Do you like lobster?
Lazarus Risen is Greg Rucka. Yes.
Okay.
Do I like lobster? Depends.
Well, I mean, not like lobster from Illinois, but like good lobster from the East Coast.
I mean, it's fine. I think it's overpriced. I like a good lobster bisque. I really love a good lobster roll.
Yes.
It's my favorite thing.
Dude, I had an awesome lobster roll in Rhode Island. Flew into Rhode Island. This would have been like in 2013 or 14, and for a wedding. And it was like the best thing I've ever eaten. Was this one lobster roll as soon as we got there. Literally landed, get to the hotel. There was like a sports bar across the street. I asked the people at the hotel, like, who makes the best lobster roll? And they're like, oh, literally the place right across the street is the best in almost all of Rhode Island. Really? All right. So we go over there. I don't even know how to explain it.
Big chunks of lobster?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so good.
So I went to Salem, Massachusetts. So another lobstery area.
Yeah.
And I did the same exact thing. And I had a lobster roll there. And it's cool because they're like just big chunks of lobster.
Yeah.
But the mayonnaise-based sauce that it was contained in was not good.
Oh, really?
So I was kind of let down on that.
Well, so then we went to another place, and a couple people said this place makes them better than that, even though they told me this is the best place in town. So we went to this other restaurant, and they had like chopped up lobster,
like shredded.
Yeah, it was basically shredded, and I didn't think it was good either because it was like overly fishy.
Yeah.
It was like very, very sea tasting to me. It wasn't, I don't think lobster has a fishy taste to it at all.
No, not really.
This tasted like fish. And I was like, that's wrong.
In Canada, they have McDonald's has a McLobster roll, or they used to.
Really?
I mean, 25 years ago when I was in Canada, McDonald's had a McLobster roll.
They fancy up there.
Yeah.
Them and their poutine.
Poutine.
We had a whole poutine episode one time.
I tell you what, man, Canada is freaking... Have you ever been to Canada?
I have not.
The east coast of Canada is incredible. Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's
all of that area.
The place. It's freaking awesome.
Isn't British Columbia like awesome? Like incredible?
I went to Vancouver. I've been to Vancouver twice, and I've been to... what's that island? I don't know. Somewhere else. Okay. I wasn't overly impressed.
Oh.
Vancouver's kind of cool because they got really good food because it's like very Asian population.
Really?
So they have like really good Asian food.
That's strange.
It's like majority Asian population.
In Vancouver?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
it's like U of I type
yeah.
population.
And so they have really good restaurants and really good Asian food, which is my favorite kind of food. Well, I mean, I guess you can't say Asian food because that's like spanning a huge amount of countries. But,
true.
I really like Thai food. It's my favorite. But they had lots of different kinds of Asian food that were all incredible. But also there's this gigantic park that's attached just like on the edge of the city. That's really cool. It's like
cool.
A gigantic park. I don't know what to say. I mean, like thousands and thousands of acres, like tens of thousands.
Oh.
I don't know about tens of thousands, but it's huge.
Yeah, that's very big. All right, what's left? You got some left?
Oh yeah.
Or was there any left?
Star Wars number 63.
Oh, another Star Wars book.
Yep. That's a lot of books.
It was a lot of books for 1 month ago.
I think I might
cut back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've said that before. I think you said you actually did cut back and then found out from doing this.
Apparently I didn't.
That you have not.
The problem is the place that I get my comics from It's like very primitive website, so it's like difficult to make changes.
Yeah.
And you just kind of forget about it, and then it's just
I
like
think
autopilot.
Graham Cracker's the same way.
It's the same exact website.
Oh, is it?
Well, or very, very similar.
Yeah, I don't like Graham Cracker's website on how they set things up either, and I think it's a big enough company now to be able to update
I think that these comic book stores like subscribe to that platform. Like somebody created a platform.
Okay.
And they all kind of use that same platform to sell comics
Well,
because they all look very similar.
Okay, well that's dumb.
But think of how complicated like the ordering process and subscription process is.
Not very. I mean, everyone else has been very successful at making a website to do that.
Really?
I mean, Amazon does it all the time.
Yeah, but you got like
every other streaming thing does it all the time.
You're probably right.
eBay.
I did like I need to cut back because I just subscribed to 2 new books. So. Well, I started getting a Sender.
Yeah.
And there was another one. I can't remember what it was.
What was that? Lemire, Jeff Lemire?
Well, Lazarus Risen.
Yeah.
And then there was something else. I don't know.
Wow. You've got a problem.
Yeah. Maybe I should just hold back until I can get my current collection in order.
That'd be a good idea. At least get it in boxes. Are you going to like alphabetize it and everything?
Yes. That's what I need to do. That's why I don't ever read anything is because I can't find anything.
Right.
And seriously, that is the main reason because like I want to read those Daredevil books. I can't find them.
Yeah. That's the problem. Well, what you need to start doing, and what we're doing here on the show, is taking them out of the boxes that they're delivered in.
What I should be doing is taking, because I think,
and then bag and boarding them.
I think
as
all
you
the Marvel ones have digital copies. Yes, they do. So I have a free digital copy of all these that works right on Comixology.
Yes.
But I'm such an idiot. I don't want to do it because I don't want to take the sticker off. You have to take a sticker off to get the code.
You do?
Yeah, you got to take that sticker off.
Oh.
And I feel like that's going to devalue the book.
It would. It would in the grand scheme of things.
But I would totally read these nonstop if I had the digital copy because you can read them on my phone.
Right. Oh, man. Well, I guess you're in a bit of a predicament.
So, I don't know.
Well, I think we've run over our time, Christopher.
Okay, fine.
Episode 25, a historic day in the life of Snarf Talk.
What did I say for the names? Oh, first of all, there was a retrospective. That could be one option. The Gospel According to Snarf.
It was the Gospel of
Snarf. That's an option.
Yeah, a retrospective. It was a bit of a retrospective in the beginning.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Now I feel like it should be oatmeal bath.
Oh, yeah. That's a way better one. We need to grab people's attention. They don't care about retrospectives.
No. And we'll talk about it after the show.
The Gospel According to Oatmeal Baths?
No, that sounds terrible.
All right. For Snarf Talk,
Jerry.
I've been Chris.
See ya.